For over 600 years, one empire stood at the crossroads of Europe, Asia, and Africa. It conquered Constantinople. It controlled the Middle East. It challenged Europe. But in the end, it collapsed under its own weight. This is the story of the rise and fall of the Ottoman Empire. Part 1. The Rise, 1300 to 1453. The story begins in the early 1300s. A small Turkish state in Anatolia, led by a warrior named Osman I, began expanding into weakened Byzantine lands. From his name came the word Ottoman. What made them different? They were disciplined, strategic, relentless. They built a powerful military system, including elite infantry known as the Janissaries. While Europe was divided by internal wars, the Ottomans expanded steadily. Then came 1453. Under Sultan Mehmed II, they surrounded Constantinople, the capital of the Byzantine Empire. After weeks of siege and massive cannons tearing down ancient walls, the city fell. Constantinople became Istanbul, and the Ottomans became a global empire. Part 2. The Golden Age, 1500s. The empire reached its peak under Sultan Suleiman the Magnificent. A regal portrait or depiction of Sultan Suleiman the Magnificent, adorned in rich robes and a turban, exuding power, wisdom, and authority. At its height, the Ottomans controlled Southeast Europe, the Middle East, North Africa. They dominated trade routes between Europe and Asia. Their navy ruled the Mediterranean. Their army was feared across continents. Istanbul became one of the most powerful cities in the world. The empire wasn't just military power. It was cultural, architectural, and legal influence. For centuries, it stood as one of the world's superpowers. Part 3. The Slow Decline, 1600s-1800s. But no empire rises forever. By the 1600s, cracks began to appear. Corruption grew inside the government. The Janissaries, once elite soldiers, became politically powerful and resistant to reform. European nations industrialized and modernized their militaries. The Ottomans did not keep pace. They began losing wars. Territories broke away. Nationalist movements grew in the Balkans. By the 1800s, the empire was called the sick man of Europe. It still existed, but it was fragile. Part 4. World War I, the final blow. In 1914, the Ottoman Empire made a critical decision. It sided with Germany in World War I. It fought Britain, Russia, and France. The war drained its resources. Arab revolts erupted within its territories. Major defeats followed. By 1918, the empire was collapsing. The Treaty of Sevres carved up its lands. European powers divided much of the Middle East. 6 centuries of rule were coming to an end. Part 5. The End and the Birth of Turkey. But the story didn't completely end there. A military leader named Mustafa Kemal, later Ataturk, led a resistance movement. He rejected the treaty. In 1923, the Republic of Turkey was established. The Ottoman Sultanate was abolished. After 600 years, the empire was gone. Conclusion. The Ottoman Empire rose from a small Anatolian state to one of the most powerful empires in history. It ruled for 6 centuries. It shaped Europe. It shaped the Middle East. It shaped global trade. But internal weakness, modernization failures, and World War I sealed its fate. Empires don't collapse in a day. They weaken slowly, until one final blow ends it all.